There is the politics of it, and then there is also the technical aspects of it. How did the breach happen? Could more have been done? What can be done to stop this from happening again? And under what grounds should these people who've now been arrested, should they be put to trial or should they be charged with? Right now, it's under the UAPA. We'll try and understand those dynamics with YC Modi ji, the former DG NIA, in just a bit. Meanwhile, just to bring you up to speed about the latest, ladies and gentlemen, 6 of the 7 accused so far have been arrested, while one Lalit Jha is still absconding. The accused have been sent to 7-day police custody by the Patiala House Court. Now, their roles: Manoranjan. Manoranjan is the mastermind who's now arrested. He was the one who brought everyone together. That's what we are given to understand here at CNN News 18. During the probe, it's been revealed that Manoranjan followed the urban Naxal ideology, and he was the one who tried to prevail over the BJP MP Pratap Simha in Mysuru to get these access passes into the visiting area of the new parliament. Sagar Sharma, the second accused, is an e-rickshaw driver who hails from Lucknow. He was the one who stormed into the Lok Sabha and jumped across the desks and later was overpowered by the MPs. Sagar was the one who hid colour bombs in his shoes and also hid some pamphlets. He's also the one who collected the parliament passes earlier in the day, brought the flags and met all the others at India Gate where they had a half-hour meeting. He was also the one who travelled all the way from Lucknow to Mumbai in Kurla, where he got the colour bombs that were accessed by another accused, Anmol, who bought them and purchased them from Latur. Meanwhile, Neelam Devi is the third accused, who hails from Jind district in Haryana and is currently living in Hisar and is preparing for the Haryana Civil Services exam. A highly qualified lady. We are given to understand she has at least 5 degrees. She was the one outside Parliament who also sprayed colour gas outside Parliament. She has been seen in pictures in the past being part of certain protests, including the farmers' protests. Anmol, this was the third accused I was talking about. He's the fourth accused who has been arrested. He sprayed colour gas outside Parliament. He's the one who accessed these coloured bombs or coloured gas canisters from Latur and passed it on to Sagar in Kurla in Mumbai. Lalit Jha, he is the one who's absconding, hails from Kolkata and is the only accused who's absconding. He's said to be a fan of Shahid Bhagat Singh. He hails, he's based in Bengal, but we are given to understand he originally hails from Bihar but currently based in Kolkata. Vicky Sharma and his wife are the other 2 accused to have been arrested. All the accused actually stayed at their place in Gurugram. We have accessed pictures here on the News 18 network of that house. It's a small place where these people were all cramped up for 3 nights and 2 days. Cops believe they provided logistics to the accused. Now let's tell you the entire plot, how it was planned and how it was actually given shape pan-India. It starts from Mysuru, where all of these people met about a year and a half ago. Manoranjan, Neelam, Anmol, Lalit Jha, they all met a year and a half ago. They had all connected via the Bhagat Singh fan page and they met at an event that happened in Mysuru. In Delhi, Sagar visited the parliament during the budget session for a recce. Now, Latur to Kurla, it is Amol who got the smoke bombs or the smoke canisters in Latur, collected it from Kurla. That is Sagar who collected it from Anmol in Kurla. In Lucknow, Sagar came via the Gomti Express to Delhi to execute the plan in December. Maharashtra to Delhi is Amol, who actually arrived from Latur in Maharashtra to Delhi. Uchana to Delhi is Neelam, who arrived in Delhi from Uchana in Hisar. Delhi to Gurgaon, the accused actually met at Vicky, the Manoranjan's friend, at his place on the 10th of December. Gurgaon to Delhi, Neelam, Manoranjan, Lalit and Amol reach India Gate. Sagar reaches India Gate after collecting the passes and also buying 2 tricolours from Sadar. From India Gate to Parliament, after a half-an-hour meet, they actually head to Parliament. Sagar and Manoranjan, it is decided they will be the 2 who will enter and who will try and create the ruckus that they did. The other 4 were supposed to stand outside and protest. Now, those who breached Parliament security have been charged under stringent anti-terror law. Here are the charges against them. Section 16 and 18 of the UAPA. It's a terror conspiracy. Although the accused maintained they wanted to cause no harm, they wanted to protest. But the actions itself, these are the sections that have been invoked. Section 120B, criminal conspiracy. Section 452, trespassing. Section 153, provoking with the intent to cause riot. Section 186, obstructing public servant to discharge duty. Section 353, assault a criminal force to deter public servants. And these are the charges under which they have now been arrested. Now, stringent charges of UAPA, what do they mean, ladies and gentlemen? They mean that they will not get bail easily. Their custody under judicial custody is 90 days, and under police custody, rather than the 14 or 15 days, is nearly a month. It's 30 days. Let's go across to YC Modi ji, former DG NIA, and try and understand how these sections have been invoked and are there formal grounds for it. YC Modi ji, namaste, Jai Hind. My name is Anand Narsimhan. Thank you very much, sir, for your time. So, my first question to you.
Namaskar, Anand.
So, my first question to you. The clauses of UAPA, can they be invoked as they have been in this matter?
Anand, Parliament is a symbol of the sovereignty of the country. Any attack on Parliament is attack on the nation. A terrorist act, a physical attack has been committed by these people by circumventing the system. And in fact, prior to the enactment of this act, all these actions by these people amounted to waging war against the state. Now UAPA has provided a very comprehensive definition of the terrorist act. There are so many clauses in this, but basically the action of these persons would fall in the category of any act done with the intention to threaten or likely to threaten sovereignty of the country, and any act done with the intention to strike terror or likely to strike terror in any section of the people. You must have seen that it scared many of the MPs. In fact, it scared the whole nation. The way these people jumped from the Darshak Dirgha, came down, ran around, blasted this smoke bombs. This is a clear-cut act of terror, and I personally feel that they have been put under these sections very appropriately.
Does this entire counter or argument, YC Modi ji, that the people came there as a mark of protest, their intent was not to harm anyone, and that's why they carried the smoke canisters or smoke bombs in their person, does this hold water? They used the parliament as a platform to register their protest. Does this argument hold any water?
This is all an absurd argument. Anand, hundreds of protests have been taking place in the country. You know, we have specified places in Delhi where earlier it used to be Boat Club, Jantar Mantar. The places have been specified. Inside Parliament, this is no way of protesting. It can't be allowed. It's a question of sovereignty of the country. Outside the Parliament, the spaces which have been specified, if they would have done that, there itself fine. But entering into Parliament in this manner, I mean, to call it a protest is trivializing a very, very heinous crime and a very, very serious issue of the national security.
So, an issue as serious as this, YC Modi ji, is suspension of 8 officers enough, or should more be done? And I'm asking you with the utmost intent of the fact that we should protect our symbols of democracy, because this could have been anthrax or it could have been sarin gas. We should somewhere be thankful it's a color bomb. But this could give ideas to those entities who are inimical to Bharat. Can they so easily breach the parliament?
Undoubtedly, it was a lapse on the part of security personnel. But considering the seriousness of the issue, a team has been asked to inquire into the incident, and that too by a DG level officer. I am told Mr. Anish Dayal Singh would be inquiring into this episode. So I think government has taken it very seriously, and heads would roll depending on the inquiry and its report.
What do you think needs to be done to secure institutions further, especially institutions like the Parliament? Because it's quite stark and everybody was shocked because it happened on the 22nd anniversary of the Parliament attacks of 2001. YC Modi ji.
Anand, there is a proper system of analyzing any incident which had taken place. In fact, I worked in CBI for 10 years and NIA around 4 years.
Ji.
After any investigation, we would write to the government, we will write to the concerned agencies about the lacunas, about the lapses noticed by us. So in this case also, I am pretty sure that Delhi police, which is investigating this case, will come out with their recommendations which need to be done to plug these type of leakages. But offhand, we can say so many things, like putting the glass before the Darshak Dirgha, or a little more checking of the people who are going, posting more marshals that anybody who moves is caught immediately. There are so many things which we can tell offhand, but I personally feel that there should be a comprehensive study, and then there should be proper recommendations for dealing this matter appropriately.
Could you please explain to our viewers the contours of section 16 and 18 of the UAPA and why they have been invoked in this case?
No, because section 16 provides the punishment for a terrorist act, and it is clearly a terrorist act as per section 15. I personally feel that this is correct application of law. We cannot allow some hooligans or some these type of people to play mischief with our parliamentary democracy. And I personally feel, given the facts, that it is not just these 5 or 7 people who are behind this attack. There has to be some mastermind, there must be some funding, there must be some motive. All these things need to be comprehensively looked into by the investigating agency. And I have great faith in Delhi police investigation skills. So I think so that they will unravel the whole conspiracy behind this attack and take all these perpetrators of this crime to the logical conclusion.
So in your experience and in your wisdom, you believe that these are just pawns. There is more to it than meets the eye. My final question, YC Modi ji.
I personally feel that they are the foot soldiers, and there must be certain others who are behind that. This type of conspiracy cannot be hatched by people like these youngsters or without any support from some bigger ones. So I think there is a lot of work to be done by Delhi police, and they can take the assistance of specialized agencies and intelligence agencies in this matter.
YC Modi ji, thank you for your time, and thank you for shedding light and giving us some perspective as far as the technical aspect and why you believe that there's got to be more to it than this. There are some people who are instrumental in the funding and also orchestrating or masterminding of this. Thank you very, very much. Staying with this story, ladies and gentlemen, we'll focus on the politics that's happening over the Parliament security breach. Opposition MPs demanding statement from the Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in both houses over the security breach. They even demanded discussion under Rule 267. Opposition storming the well of the House, demanding action against BJP MP Pratap Simha. Union Ministers Rajnath Singh and Prahlad Joshi said Lok Sabha Secretariat and the Speaker are responsible for security in the House and that a thorough investigation is underway. The government urged the opposition not to politicize the issue and reminded them of similar incidents that have taken place in the past, and at that time the Speaker was never questioned. As the uproar over Parliament security breach continued, the Speaker suspended 14 opposition MPs for misconduct. On the other hand, BJP's Amit Malviya has launched a counter-attack at the Congress and the INDI alliance. Amit Malviya has said that the accused were Congress and INDI supporters. He went on to say that Neelam Azad, the lady who breached Parliament security, is an Andolan Jeevi who's been seen at several protests that have been led by entities who now are closer to the opposition. He went on to question who sent the intruders and asked why did they pick someone from Mysuru to obtain Parliament pass from a BJP MP. Drawing the Ajmal Kasab analogy, Amit Malviya has also said that Kasab also wore a kalava to mislead people. Amit Malviya accused the opposition of defiling the Parliament, the highest institution of our democracy. He is now further alleged that the absconding accused, Lalit Jha, has an alleged Trinamool Congress connection. He's claimed that several pictures of Lalit Jha with Trinamool Congress leaders have actually gone viral. He's alleged that the accused opposition link. Now let's take a look at some of the instances when security was breached in Parliament and what happened then. May 5th, 1994, visitor Prem Samrat actually jumped from the visitors gallery into the Lok Sabha chamber and raised slogans. He was let off with a stern warning. Then again, in August 24, 1994, a visitor, Mohan Pathak, jumped into the Lok Sabha chamber from the visitor area. The Speaker has issued a warrant and both were actually briefly jailed at that point in time. Then November 25th, 2016, Rakesh Baghel restrained after trying to jump from the visitor gallery. That's what he was released after a warning. So there have been instances of this visitor gallery breach in the past, but the manner in which this was done, one has to lean towards what Mr. YC Modi just said. Are these just pawns, and especially those who have or who parrot the urban Naxal lines, quote unquote, the Andolan GV lines? Let's go straight across to our.
Hello, Moto.
Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author and political commentator with us, Charu Pragya, national spokesperson of the BJP with us, and George Kurian, political analyst with us. Charu Pragya ji, Anand Ranganathan ji and George Kurian ji, namaste and Jai Hind. Let me first ask you, Charu ji, Amit Malviya is saying जो भागा है उसका तृणमूल से कनेक्शन है, एक पकड़ी गई है उसका कांग्रेस से कनेक्शन है. Earlier in the day, some connection was drawn with SFI and that person was somebody else altogether. They are now planning a legal suit or legal action against the BJP for making false claims. Is there a rush to try and pin this on the opposition?
Absolutely not, Anand. And nobody is rushing to do anything. What happened with the security breach at Parliament was very unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened, and the authorities will definitely get to the bottom of how it happened. However, the people who were found during this security breach, and most of whom have been arrested now, just listen to the slogans that they were chanting. Tanashahi nahi chalegi. Samvidhan bachao. Doesn't it sound familiar to you? तानाशाही नहीं चलेगी कौन बोलता है, संविधान बचाओ कौन बोलता है? It is the India Alliance and everybody associated with them, supporting them, that chants things like this. The person, Neelam Azad, who was outside the parliament, she was seen at the farmers' protest. She was also caught on video asking for votes for the Congress party. And Lalit Jha, who's said to have links with the TMC, has had several photographs with top TMC leaders. It's very obvious what has been happening. The Parliament of India has been undermined by these people. And let's also remember that the Congress and its allies have a pratha of supporting and rewarding those who go anti-national and who go rogue. You'll remember Bholenath and Devendra, the people who hijacked the plane when Indira Gandhi ji was arrested. They were given a ticket to contest. Most recently, Kanhaiya Kumar, for saying Bharat tere tukde honge, Indian National Congress ne unko chunav ladne ka ticket de diya. Let's wait and watch what unfolds. But one thing is obvious. This is a clear ploy. What went on in Parliament has been supported by people who give encouragement to urban Naxals like this, who give encouragement to people who chant slogans like this.
George Kurian?
Well, Anand, what has unfolded yesterday in the Parliament as far as the security breach is concerned is uncalled for, and And I strongly believe that Charu trying to link the entire thing to India alliance is unfortunate at this point in time. I strongly believe that the Delhi police has taken the cognizance and they have arrested the accused in this matter and investigate. It's a matter of investigation as to where the links will go to. And I strongly believe that Congress MPs on the floor of the House were demanding a statement from the Home Minister of the country with regards to the incident that has taken place and further discussion on the matter, because it's a question of sovereignty of the country, and Parliament is a place where democracy is upheld. So I strongly believe such incident is unfortunate, and trying to connect it to any of the parties on either side, opposition or be it the ruling governance, is uncalled for.
Charu Pragya, 14 MPs have been suspended, not 15. Yes, Charu Pragya.
Yes, 14 MPs have been suspended for creating anarchy over a situation which is so sensitive, over a situation which should never be politicized, over a situation which could have been dealt with calmly, like the Honorable Speaker did his best to do. Immediately, a meeting was called of the leaders of the floor of the House, and suggestions were taken to improve security. A lot of those suggestions have already been implemented. All of that has already been implemented. And Mr. Kurian, I am not pinpointing the blame on one political party. I am saying it is your ideologies which give rise to people who think they can behave like this and get away with it, because you have a habit of rewarding those who behaved like this in the past.
Nobody seconding this accused.
No, but then what's happening? The naras and the shouts that have been made is one aspect. The other part is some conversation that has come across where somebody was relaying information to another, some entity based in West Bengal. Lalit Jha was seen doing it. That's the source. That's what information is telling us. The other thing is they took 9 months to recce this. This has to be carefully planned. So how far gone are they to believe that that a democratically elected government is equivalent to that of the British Raj, and how far are they gone to believe that what they are doing is akin to what Bhagat Singh did? Anand Ranganathan.
Good evening, Anand, and good evening to my fellow panelists. I'm afraid we are missing the woods for the trees, and I want to explain why. Because this is a massive security lapse. Anand, I'm not concerned about the antecedents of the perpetrators who've been arrested. I'm going to call them terrorists. I have a very loose definition of terrorism. They committed a terror act. But are these the only Naxals? Are these the only Andolanjivis? Are these the only Maoists? Are these the only sectarians? Are these the only Khalistanis? No. There are hundreds, possibly thousands of their ilk all around India. In fact, if you remember, one exalted general had said India is fighting 2.5 wars. That 0.5 wars, all these elements. So it's not that if you arrest these 4 or 5, you've finished Naxalism or Maoism or Khalistanism. No, you haven't. The question does not end with the arrest of these perpetrators. It is beyond it. The question is, how on earth were these people allowed to get in with a weapon? And that is the reason why all previous instances of somebody jumping from the visitors gallery, 3 instances you quoted, I'm afraid are false equivalents, because they weren't carrying a weapon with them. So a man who's sitting, or a woman who's sitting in a visitors gallery, something can happen, she can jump, he or she can jump. You can't prevent that. But certainly you can prevent somebody from carrying a bomb inside the parliament. That is the reason why. And here I beg to state that again we have, as I said, missed the woods for the trees, because all the 8 officers who've been suspended are lowly ranked Lok Sabha officers. Where is the highly ranked minister or a police officer who's been suspended? Is this a joke? And I want to tell 2 reasons why. Because all the journey that you traced of these people who've been arrested, you did not mention that they took flight. Some of the journeys that they took were by train. Now, had they taken a flight, because airports have what is called a back, scatter X-ray, they can not only detect metal, they can detect plastic explosives as well, or plastic containers or canisters that have explosives. Now, why on earth did our parliament not have this back scatter X-ray? This has to be investigated, and the person who did not order this has to be sacked immediately. You mean to say that the parliament and the officers thought that the only way bombs could be taken inside the parliament was through metal containers? And number two, and this is also very important, you talked about anthrax. I don't want to scare people, but 1 gram of anthrax that can be spread, by the way, through a smoke bomb or the spores dissipated. 1 gram is enough to kill 100 million people. How on earth are we sure that this was actually an ordinary innocent smoke bomb? It did not contain spores, or it did not still, because it takes about 24 to 48 hours to even detect anthrax. So this could be some bioterror weapon. We're not sure. You have journalists who are, fiddling with it, running around to catch it. You had people who have taken it home. I mean, this kind of laxity and approach, I think it really is shocking for, a superpower democracy. And I'm just sorely disappointed.
No, the other thing is, like you're saying, Dr. Ranganathan, the fact is that they came in March, and then after that they devised this plan from March to December that they will have a shoe with a cavity, and then they will carry this, and then they will enter. And they entered as normal aam janta who are enamored by a new parliament, and they can go in and they want to watch this, they want to see this. That's how they were able to get in.
Yes, so this is why I want to say all the MPs, they're all blaming, BJP, Congress. Is not about the people who let these guys in. It is about the security people who did not detect a plastic container that had a bomb. That is what is scary and dangerous.
Charu Pragya, you want to weigh in on this?
Yes, absolutely. I'm in agreement, Anand, and nobody is shying away from understanding that there has been a situation which is very, very grave. It could have been more grievous, but let's just say that this came as a warning, and we should fix all the loopholes in our security system. It's high time we did that, and let's use this as a warning. That being said, it's not that the responsibility is not going to be fixed, or heads are not going to be rolled, or these lapses are not going to be cured for all the times to come, sir. And I say this with a lot of confidence. Rest assured that we are a government which has a zero tolerance towards terror. Touch wood, in the last 9 years, India has been an extremely safe space. We have come from being the people in Delhi who could go shopping at Sarojini Nagar and then be met by a bomb blast, to being people who are very secure and very confident going to every part of this country. Yes, this was a lapse. Yes, it is very serious. But is the government taking it lightly? Not at all.
If the government is taking it seriously, then why is it that there is no statement that's come from the Home Minister or the Prime Minister? Why is there silence? This is a question everybody is asking, Charu Pragya.
I know, Anand, and unfortunately, the opposition has a habit of jumping the gun on issues like this. Can we wait for the authorities to finish with their investigation and come out with a complete report? If needed, I am very certain our Honorable Home Minister will make a statement if needed. But let the police do their job first. Let us get to the bottom of what has happened first. Let's have all the facts before we have him make a statement.
George Kurian, does that convince you?
Well, Anand, I strongly believe that the incident as serious as this should the Home Minister run away from addressing the house, both the houses, and cognizance has to be taken. I strongly believe that let me make it clear to your audience that the Congress Party, or be it the opposition, is not trying to politicize the entire issue here. It's a matter of grave concern for us. There are a lot of lapses that needs to be fixed right away, and this can be taken as a warning. And I strongly believe we are not trying to corner the government on this issue.
But what you say outside Parliament and what we've seen inside Parliament are in variance.
Sorry?
No, I'm just saying, George Kurian, what you are saying outside Parliament on this show and what is visible inside Parliament on the floor of the House are in variance.
And Anand, let's remember that the Congress Party and its allies have recently been greatly discredited with their loss in the elections and all the money being caught at Sahu's house. They are on a back foot, and they have used this opportunity to politicize. No, you have used this opportunity maybe to engineer this, but definitely to politicize a very unfortunate incident.
No, but the point is that had this been somebody else, or had this happened during the time of the UPA and the BJP had been sitting in opposition, what would the BJP have done, Charu Pragya? Please tell me. There is no taking sides on what is a matter of national security and what is a serious, heinous lapse. What, and I'm in agreement with Dr. Anand Ranganathan here, is that when you just suspend 8 officers and heads are not rolling, and more than nearly 24 hours have passed since the incident, nearly 36 hours now, then there is a cause for concern. Politics will continue to happen.
See, there is a system in place for issuing of a pass also. There is a system in place for the frisking of the body of a person while entering parliament, and there has been a lapse on both the accounts. But the Honorable MP, Mr. Simha, is cooperating with the agencies. And then, like I said, this is a situation which has been encouraged with the thought process that the opposition follows. And I'm sorry, I'm going to keep repeating this because this is true. It is the Andolan Jeevis who keep saying, Tanashahi nahi chalegi, Tanashahi nahi chalegi. You want to talk about Manipur, you want to talk about the farmers' protest, and
they have the right to follow a political ideology. They have the right to go out and protest. If they have used a manner that is deviant or that deviates from what should be the right way to protest, they are wrong. But they have been allowed this opportunity. Now today these are Andolan Jeevis as the BJP is calling them. Had they been Atankwadi, what would have been the result, net result of this? And aren't the Atanwadis of the world watching this? Those who want to pounce upon Bharat, aren't they looking at this? And aren't they going to get ideas? Isn't that a greater cause for concern? Dr. Ranganathan.
No, absolutely, Anand. And as I keep saying, may I humbly disagree with my good friend Charu here. The point is not about the antecedents or the characteristics of these people who've been arrested. As I said, they could be Naxals, Maoist, Andolan Jeevis. I don't care. They could have entered the visitors gallery, being Andolan Jeevis and urban Naxals, and maybe jumped from there, created the same ruckus. Even that is acceptable to me, because how can you control the emotions, certain emotions of a human being? What can be controlled and what should have been controlled, and for which the heads must roll, is that a plastic container having a bomb was allowed to be taken inside the parliament. It's just that issue. You can be anything you want. You can be dressed as a clown, you can get in. But how on earth was a bomb smuggled in? That is the only issue in my instance.
Pragya respond and then George Kurian.
No, I'm taking this extremely seriously, Anand, as is the government of India. And see, it's one thing to say that let's suspend the people who were in charge of the frisking. That has already been done. And the instructions need to go down in a firmer way. In fact, a lot of suggestions have been given to the Honorable Speaker. More of them will be implemented. The security is going to be beefed up, which is going to impact all the decent citizens also who wanted to visit Parliament. It's going to have long-term effects.
It takes weeks for the anthrax to come out. How do you know that was a smoke bomb and not an anthrax? How do you know that?
Now, let us be thankful that, and let us hope, let us pray that it was just a smoke bomb, and there was no larger malified intent to cause bodily harm or or to take human lives. But in this case, it could have been any gas which could have been toxic, which could have taken lives, or which could have been a bioweapon, as Dr. Ranganathan says. Yes, Charu Pragya and then George Kurian. Yeah.
No, I am calling a spade a spade. I am not defending something which should not be defended.
Correct.
I am on the side of what the government is doing, definitely, because it is our job now to fix all these lapses. It's our job to identify where they began. I'm not defending it. But at the same time, sir, I don't think that we can simply say the responsibility lies on the security and the security alone. I'm sorry, the responsibility net has to be cast wider.
George Kurian, responsibility net has to be cast wider. Those who are peddling these ideologies are also brainwashing youngsters to become far more radical, to adopt and to liken a democracy, an elected democracy, a vibrant democracy with the British Raj, and to think by some false sense of notion that they are doing what Shahid Bhagat Singh did.
Well, Anand, no ideology is trying to brainwash the youth of this country. It's a known fact that we are going through unemployment, which is highest at this point in time. And I strongly believe that the speaker and the chairman of the house should revoke the suspension of the MPs who have been demanding a statement from the Home Minister of India with regards to this incident that has taken shape. And I strongly believe it's a matter of 1.4 billion people who have voted these parliamentarians And
George
what
Kudan,
is
don't
the-
speak over him, please. You're not audible. Let George Kudan complete, and then you can please make your point. Yes.
And what I'm trying to say is that 1.4 billion people needs to be answered about the entire incident that has taken shape inside the parliament, and the Home Minister should take cognizance and address the nation on both the houses.
Should the Home Minister, my question to you, George Kudan, should the Home Minister address the nation because the opposition wants him to address the nation, or should the Home Minister address the Parliament, address the floor and the nation when they have the facts in their hand? How it happened, what happened, where the lapses were?
Well, I'm sure it's more than 24 hours at this point in time. At least prima facie, the Home Minister is aware of what lapses has taken shape and how they're going to counter this. And it's a matter of emotions here. And so I strongly believe that all the parliamentarians who have been suspended, their suspension should be revoked at this point in time, because the matter is as grave as this. They're demanding statement from the Home Minister.
My other question is the functions of the Parliament, and as per the rule book and as per the law, it comes under the Lok Sabha Secretariat or the Parliament Secretariat. The Speaker and the Chairman are the ones who've got the onus to try and lead this. So in this scenario, should the Home Minister jump protocol and then make the statement first, or should there be an inquiry report submitted and the Speaker make his comment, make his derivatives, and thereafter the Home Minister speaks, because the Home Minister on the floor of the House is an MP, again owes adherence to the chair, and that's the Speaker. Dr. Ranganathan, final word.
No, as I said, this is not about the BJP MP allowing these Andolan GVs, who are obviously left-wingers, not right-wingers, allowing them entry. Because if the BJP MP were to be stringent, then quite possibly there are enough quote-unquote urban Naxal MPs who would allow entries to these guys anyway. So it's not about, as I said, allowing entry to these hooligans. It's about stopping them taking a dangerous terror weapon inside. That's it. So, that's why I'm saying, why are we talking about ideologies or, have you been able to stop the ideology that influenced Osama bin Laden, or were you more interested in stopping Osama bin Laden?
Correct.
That's the question.
So the idea and the ideology can remain in the head. It should not be allowed to put itself or manifest in action, which could cause serious harm or could even threaten perhaps what is the temple of democracy. No desecration of a temple should ever be allowed, especially the temple of democracy, and that should be non-negotiable. And that's the level to which we now need to protect our institutions. Perhaps it's a lesson well learned, and a timely lesson at that. Thank you very, very much to all our panelists for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand.